Hi, my name is Yasmin from MEDIAL, and welcome to today's webinar. Today I'll be talking to you about getting your teachers and trainers truly engaged with video so that they can create content that has positive learning outcomes for their students. The first thing to say on this subject is that the expectations of learners have and will continue to change rapidly. Today's learners are part of Generation Z. They are the first generation that have grown up with the internet and with video platforms like YouTube as part of their daily lives. Creating content that is short, simple, or can be broken up into standalone chapters or as part of a playlist is vital in ensuring engagement and in retaining students' attention. In the educational industry today, there's a great deal of emphasis placed on lesson or lecture capture and how this can be a catch-all solution to the problem of video. The underlying theory goes that by capturing everything, you have fulfilled the need for a video solution within your organization. Generation Z have other ideas though, and the research backs this up as well. Richard Meyer's widely respected study, The Cognitive Theory of Multimedia Learning, concluded that the 6 minutes was the optimal length for a piece of multimedia learning content. It also asserted that the segmenting principle dictated that people learn better from a multimedia lesson that is presented in user-paced segments, rather than as a continuous unit. His exhaustive study also backs up the use of the video over text in terms of the modality principle. This, in his words, dictates that people learn better from graphics and narrations, rather than from animations and on-screen text. Have you ever noticed these controls on the online video sites that you use? They control the speed at which the video plays back. They aren't there because people like listening to a voice that sounds like a chipmunk. They're there because today's learners are 100% comfortable with watching and listening to video or audio content at up to double speeds. Try it for yourself. If you're not watching this video live, click on the control on the player below and we'll be done in half the time. I won't take it personally. So, the message here is clear. Keep it short and keep it simple. Or if you have a lot to say, break it up into smaller bite-sized pieces. Indeed, the success of the flipped learning model is further proof of the benefits of this approach. If you're not familiar with this, it's essentially the concept of the learner watching the lesson at home and completing what would have traditionally been their homework in class. Although this concept is in its relative infancy, in terms of there having been enough time to have collated data to measure its effectiveness, most studies have concluded that its effect on performance and especially class attendance are largely positive. Take a look at O'Flaherty and Phillips or Bishop and Ferliger for more information. Another key point to bear in mind here is workflow and how, when and where learners actually consume this content. Learning management systems, or LMSs, have long been the destination for both teachers and students in terms of interacting and consuming course materials. The issue with these systems is that there has been a tendency for them to become what is described as a dumping ground. So, they turn into poorly curated document management systems rather than a teaching and learning resource. The picture becomes even worse when it comes to using video in the LMS itself. Mainly as these systems aren't built to handle video in the same way that online video platforms are. Videos are simply uploaded to these systems and not converted into the correct format to be delivered to all devices and bandwidths. The result is a poor experience for the learner and a rapidly increasing storage problem for the organization. This is because most people produce content on devices that, by default, produce huge video files. So, yet another reason for me to produce short video. More space on my smartphone for my selfies. Anyway, joking aside, teachers need to be able to have the tools they require to produce engaging video right in the LMS. Not only does it make more sense to have everything in one place, it is also within the interest of the organization that both teachers and learners live their online learning journey in a system that had been heavily invested in. Okay, so to conclude setting the scene here, recent and widely respected research suggests that most people want and learn better from shorter and more engaging content. Students from Generation Z are comfortable with technology and have grown up with video being a big part of how they live their lives and learn. There is huge potential to leverage video in new and exciting ways, but it takes more effort than just sticking a camera in front of a teacher and recording an entire lesson. Recording long-form video should not be discounted altogether though. Many organizations see consistent viewing patterns based around it being used as a revision aid. That said, it needs to be part of a blended approach to learning. Okay, so now we have fully set the scene, let's take a look at some cool real-world uses of video within education and how MEDIAL has helped these organizations to achieve this. Later on, I'll be showing you how your teachers could use MEDIAL themselves to create this kind of video content, so stay tuned for that as well. So, first up is UCL in London. One of their teachers used MEDIAL to do an engaging recording from the site of an archaeological dig. This was not only an amazing insight that the majority of the students would not have got to see otherwise, but it is also an invaluable learning resource ongoing as a piece of video on demand content for future students to see. This content isn't necessarily short and punchy, but it shows the power of video to capture an experience that would have otherwise only been viewed by the few students that have travelled to the site. Cameras on smartphones can record this content at high enough resolutions that capturing this kind of fine detail is now possible. Next up is University of Bolton, again in the UK. The concept of keeping it both short and simple is taken on board here. The issue faced was teaching maths to someone hard of hearing. Video of the teacher solving a complex mathematical problem is shown on a simple whiteboard. MEDIAL's automatic speech recognition technology is used to caption the video. The hard of hearing learner is not disadvantaged in any way, and other students also benefit from having a transcript of the short video to accompany their learning experience. These are just a few examples of the innovative use of video. However, now I'm coming to the bit that you have been waiting for: how you can achieve these results yourself. Let's take the example of creating content within the LMS. Today I'm using Moodle, but we have the same workflow within all of the leading learning management systems, namely Blackboard, Canvas, and Brightspace. The teacher logs into the LMS and creates an assignment. They click on the MEDIAL button and this launches a window where they have a variety of different options. Since I am creating my own content now for my class, I click on Record Screen. This launches the MEDIAL lecture app that allows me to record my screen and my webcam. I take my class through my lesson using whatever tools I have on my computer. PowerPoint, my web browser, etc. At the end of my recording, I get the chance to edit my video or make it look more professional by adding my own title or credit screens. Now I simply upload my video and, as if by magic, it appears within Moodle where I began my journey. My lesson recording and editing is done without me ever having left my learning management system. If I wanted to break up my recording up into individual segments for easier consumption, then I could simply use MEDIAL's in-browser video editor to export out the bits which I needed to do this. If in creating my video I had asked my students to submit a video response, the students, again, all within the LMS, could use MEDIAL's video assignment submission facility to, for instance, record themselves through their webcam. I could then give video feedback in the same way while grading my students' response. I could also use MEDIAL to see which students watched my video and how engaged they were with it. So there you have it, proof that there are compelling reasons to create video in this way. Examples of people that are already doing this in both innovative and highly effective ways, regardless of the levels of technology being used. And finally, a demonstration that the simple tools required to do this are available and easy to use largely within the environment that most of your users will already be comfortable within. We hope our webinar today has been both informative and inspiring. If you have any questions, please email me at info@medial.com. Alternatively, if you'd like to find out more information about what we do and how we can help you, please visit medial.com.